Before we start, please support our channel by subscribing, and click the bell icon for future notifications. Now, let's start. The film opens with a flashback scene in 1945 at the United States prisoner of war camp, in Nagasaki, Japan. One of the camp commandos, Ichiro Yoshida, frantically freed dozens of American soldiers who had been captured as a result of the Second World War. After Yoshida's dutiful comrades commit suicide, Logan saves Yoshida from an explosion by sheltering him in his prison. Although the metal was badly burned by the explosion, he was able to recover quickly thanks to his mutilation ability. 70 years later, after leaving the X-Men, Logan, who now lives alone, continues to be haunted by his nightmares and memories of accidentally killing his girlfriend, Jean Grey. Short on time, Logan encounters a hunter who has killed his bear pal in a bar. After Logan found out and accused the hunter's cunning actions, they got into a fight in the bar. When the hunter friends tried to attack him, he was suddenly assisted by a Japanese woman named Yukio, who is a mutant who can predict people's deaths pre-diagnosively. Yukio carries a Denzin, an ancient sacred katana. After threatening bar patrons, Logan joins Yukio as he leaves in his rental car. On the way, Yukio explains how she has been tracking Logan for over a year. She was sent by Ichiro Yoshida, a CEO of an industrial in Tokyo, who is now dying of cancer. Yoshida was dying to meet Logan before his death to thank him for saving his life so many years ago. Upon arrival in Tokyo, Logan immediately prepares to meet Ichiro Yoshida at his magnificent home, which is well guarded by his bodyguards. In his bed, Ichiro talks to Logan about the plan to transfer the mutation to immortality from Wolverine into his body, as he is not ready to die. Hearing this crazy thing, Logan obviously refused, because if he agreed, his life could be at stake. Later that night, when logging into Dream of Jane, he is shocked to notice a mutant named Viper in the form of Jean. It seems that Viper has inserted something into Logan's throat with her tongue, to affect his healing abilities. After that strange dream, Logan woke up and found that Yoshida had died. During Yoshida's funeral, Logan senses something is wrong. He identifies a Yakuza murder disguised as a robed priest in the middle of a funeral procession. As Logan approaches to save Mariko from being kidnapped, he is shot and beaten several times. Luckily he is assisted by Yoshida's loyal bodyguard, Kanuishio Harada, a long-distance archer who is also Mariko's ex-boyfriend. A chase ensues between the kidnapper and Logan, followed by Yukio and Harada. They end up at a train station. When Logan manages to save them, he notices that his healing abilities are starting to weaken. As he exited, 4 more Yakuza members confronted him. The fight was back on. Although Logan was a bit overwhelmed, he was able to defeat all 4 and return to his seat. After the train stops, Logan and Mariko get out and find a safe place to hide from the Yakuza. They stay in the rundown hotel on the outskirts of town. When Mariko was standing on the balcony, Logan suddenly fainted because he was too hard to endure the pain from his wounds that never healed. When he regains consciousness, he finds himself being operated on by Hitoshi, the hotel owner's grandson, who is also a veterinary student. Meanwhile, Mariko and Logan decided to temporarily stay at Akihiro's old house to calm down. After helping some locals chop wood, Logan realizes he is at the location of a POW camp. Then he walked to the well covered with metal lining. He suddenly has a flashback to the day of the nuclear explosion when he saved Ichiro Yoshida. He remembered that Yoshida had given him katakana as thanks. But he refused, and that's how both of them survived the nuclear explosion in Hiroshima, because they fell into the well. Back home during a stormy night, Logan and Mariko continue their previous conversation. Reveals her human and gentle side. Logan talks about how his grandfather aptly called him Ronin, that is a samurai without a master. Carried away by the increasingly warm atmosphere, the two of them kissed for the first time, and slept together. The next morning Metal wakes up without Mariko by his side. He hears Mariko screaming outside, captured and taken away by Yakuza. Logan tries to take Mariko from the gangster, but fails. He was only able to restrain one Yakuza member after getting shot in the leg. Logan tries to question the man and it is revealed that Mariko Middle was taken to his fiancée, Noburo. And this is where it was revealed that Shingen was his own father. Noburo explained, how was it in Yoshida's last days? He had spent millions hoarding adamantium to prolong his life. and thus nearly bankrupted Yoshida Industries. But in his will, Yoshida actually left everything to his granddaughter, Mariko. Noburo is simply the person Shingen paid to kill Mariko, so that the inheritance would be his. Hearing this explanation, Logan got angry and threw Noburo from the balcony. Meanwhile, the kidnapped Mariko is brought before Shingen. Unbeknownst to them, a group of Black Clan ninja, led by Harada and Viper, attack the Yakuza security guards one by one. Shingen suddenly notices that he is surrounded by ninja in black, and Mariko is rescued and taken away. Viper confronts Shingen and reveals her true goal is to keep Mariko alive. Then with her long tongue, she spread venomous poison to the tip of the pen and stabbed it into the vein on Shingen's neck and made him fall into the pool. At the same time, Yukio and Logan stop inside the complex. They find a note written in blood embedded in the corpse of one of the Yakuza. The note was a hint that they should quickly go to Yoshida's birthplace, which was the location of a research facility built into the side of a mountain. At the same time, Shingen had risen from the pool and was dressed in an armored samurai outfit complete with his sword. As Logan turns on the MRI machine to scan his entire body, he is shocked to realize that the device's parasitic Logan had been implanted into his heart by Viper days before. Despite Yukio's pleas not to operate himself, Logan remains stubborn and begins to remove the device from his body. As Logan begins to unplug the device, Shingen walks into the room wielding his sword. Yukio immediately restrained him while Logan tried to destroy the device he managed to take. Logan was helpless for a few moments after the device was taken. But he soon recovered and began to attack Shingen. Shingen also lost after his neck was slashed by Logan, who now calls himself Wolverine. After defeating Shingen, Logan immediately follows Harada and Viper to Yoshida's research center to save them. Upon arrival, he was immediately confronted by Harada and his black ninjas. Logan was showered with arrows by the ninjas, who then fainted after being hit by Harada's poisoned arrows. Logan awakens to find himself pinned to a steel pillar with a silver samurai beside him. Viper appears and tells Logan that the silver samurai is made from the adamantium that Yoshida has been hoarding. Logan begins to get emotional, which causes his metal claws to shoot out. At the same time, Mariko finds herself being held captive by Harada, who believes she is working for Yoshida's interests. Even though he knew the Viper was evil, Harada could not betray him because their goal was to serve Yoshida. Harada began to persuade them to come back to him. As they kissed, Mariko drew her dagger, then stabbed him in the shoulder and ran to Logan's side. Suddenly, Silver Samurai got up from his seat and walked towards Logan. Then draws a flaming 8-foot-long red-hot sword. Seeing Logan in danger, Mariko screamed to make the samurai stop. And unexpectedly, Samurai's shot is deflected into Logan's cage and frees him. Action chase ensued. Meanwhile, Harada, now aware that he was on the wrong side, immediately changed his course and attacked the Viper with his arrows. The arrow hit Viper in the chest. But it seems that Viper is immune to that attack. On the other hand, Yukio caught up with sneaking into the research facility. She fights one-on-one against Viper, who now reveals his true form. Meanwhile, Harada tries to help Logan by stabbing a samurai helmet with an arrow. But he was stabbed and died in Mariko's arms. Logan gripped the katana with both hands, then swung and chopped off the samurai helmet. The two fall hundreds of feet, where Samurai manages to cut another piece of Logan's adamantium claw. At the same time, Yukio is able to wrap a rope around Viper's neck and hang him to death by a shaft. When Logan and Samurai fight, Logan is slightly overwhelmed when the Silver Samurai tries to suck the bone marrow of his hand in order to gain the power of lightning healing. And unexpectedly, Yoshida, who was still alive, emerged from the hole in the samurai's head without a helmet, showing himself as the pilot of the robot. He explains that after Logan's refusal to transfer immortality to him, he had faked his own death and orchestrated Mariko's kidnapping and bringing Logan back to him. As he talks and absorbs life from Logan, he begins to appear younger, while Logan shows signs of aging. Hearing her grandfather's terrible plan, Mariko came closer and threw one of the metal claws at her grandfather. And the throw right on his skull. Then he released Logan, who looked limp. Instantly, Logan managed to recover and return to his youth as before. After recovering with Mariko's approval, Logan finishes off the Silver Samurai to prevent anything worse from happening. Logan, who was exhausted, fainted instantly. At the time of fainting, he had a picture of Jane. Initially Logan is still not ready to separate from Jane. But considering that Jane is gone and her life must continue, Logan is finally determined to end his story with Jane even though his feelings will never go away. Short of time, eventually Yoshida Industrial completely belonged to Mariko, while Logan decided to continue his life as a soldier, accompanied by Yukio who volunteered to be his personal bodyguard. Until 2 years later Logan meets Magneto and Professor X for a new mission. The end. If you like this video, please like and subscribe to this channel. Don't forget to watch other videos. See you in the next video.